morning, everybody. This is the one and only here on the YouTube, which is Heavy Metal 95 here. Once again, we got a brand new rock song history video, and this time we're going to be covering another Kiss song that I'm covering from their album Destroyer, which, considering that Destroyer was their fourth album, but we're going to be talking about the song by Kiss for today's subject on rock song history. Beth, you know, the B-side to the single Detroit Rock City from their fourth album, Destroyer. Because I'm talking about the versions of they sing on there. So, this dates all the way back in the early 70s when Peter Criss was in the band called Chelsea, when his guitarist, Stan Pendridge, wanted to write a song about the woman naming Becky, which is the wife of their bandmate Mike Brand. According to Peter Criss, Becky regularly calling the group during the rehearsals when she wanted to know if her husband could have come home, but this how they were composing the first verse of the song in the lyrics, like, Beck, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. Me and the boys are playing, and we just can't find the sound. It's just basically how Peter Criss also said over the years, when he had the song for the first wife, Lydia. As 1973 arrived, when Kiss has released their first three albums, like their first self-titled debut album, Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill, he had the compositional contributions very minimal when they wanted an instrumental track that he appeared on the love theme from Kiss as well, from their first self-titled debut. Peter Criss had the role of the vocals on the songs. When he sang an up-tempo version of the demo, Beck, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley assumed that they were not interested in including in a sentimental ballad on the album, so they suggested that Peter Criss sing it to Bob Ezrin, which, for those who don't know who Bob Ezrin is, you know, the music producer who worked with Lou Reed, Alice Cooper, Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, many other artists in general. He had to agree to record this. So basically, for the whole way on the song melody, they wanted to change the name from Beck to Beth, which is to avoid the confusion with English musician and guitarist of Jeff Beck, where, you know, the guitarist of the Yardbirds. Lydia Criss claimed that it was the proposing change for some reason. Ace Frehley had attributed the modification for Bob Ezrin on the whole thing going on. So, when Kiss did the song Beth during the recording for the album like Destroyer, they had to use the intro, so they had the orchestral interlude with the violins and the viola and the cellos and from the key to C major and the A minor, as well as the brass section like the trumpets, tubas, trombones, and the French horns during the song. Consider that Peter Criss was by himself in the studio making Beth as the typical Kiss song for a sentimental thing, as how. And as the final result as well, The song Beth was revealed to the public when it was on Kiss's album Destroyer, when it was released on the 15th of March 1976. And unlike most songs from Kiss that were reached the charts, this song Beth has been listed certified as the reward of favorite song at the 1977 People's Choice Awards for the whole commercial thing. No wonder why radio had to play the B-side of the song Beth, which is the B-side to Detroit Rock City. It was always sent to like the radio stations, considering the DJs at the local radio stations had chosen the song Beth as well, because that's how the real reason. Considering that Peter Criss sang this live throughout many Kiss concerts, on the whole commercial success of their album Destroyer, has the whole thing of how this has gotten to this. However, this song has been debuted on the Paul Lynde Halloween special, where they shortened the version of the song Beth. And Peter Criss sang Beth in the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, in which Paul Stanley plays the acoustic guitar in that one. Even though I've already done a movie review on Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park a while back, but this has finally found themselves a real piece of history that I found on this as well. However, during the late 80s, Eric Carr, who was the drummer for the band Kiss in the 80s, never performed the song Beth by Kiss live. However, in the studio, he did the vocals for the studio version of the song Beth, which appeared on Kiss's compilation album Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And this is the only version that Eric Carr was singing Beth on their compilation album Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. Just to come across, because this has given to the fact from Now You Remembered, because it's just basically how I've never thought of this until now. However, the same version of the song Beth, when Peter Criss did the recording, when he did the acoustic version of the song on his limited edition EP. However, it appeared on his solo album Cat Number 1 in 1994. However, Kiss played the acoustic version on Kiss Unplugged, which was part of the MTV Unplugged special, during the 90s as well. Although many, throughout the concert tours of Kiss did in the 90s, throughout the decades of what Peter Criss has performed Kiss's song Beth, until the last time he performed the song Beth with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra on Kiss Symphony Alive 4 on Live, which is when Kiss performed live at the Melbourne on the DVD Kiss Symphony Alive 4, which this makes sense though with the ensemble. And however, during the 2010s on the Sonic Boom over Europe tour, Eric Singer, who is the drummer for Kiss, performed the song Beth on the acoustic guitars, and on the Hottest Show on Earth tour in 2011, until it was removed from their set list. This song occasionally performed at the meet and greet sessions. Eric Singer performed the song Beth, part of the 2019 End of the Road World Tour. And this is the last time that Kiss performed live at the final show at Madison Square Garden in 2023 via broadcast pay-per-view. However, Eric Singer's performance on the song Beth was shown live on broadcasts. However, the viewers of the band could not be made available due to copyright requirements. Consider that Peter Criss himself denied the band's permission to rebroadcast the song due to his animosity towards Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley himself as well. However, as for the song Beth, by the way, however, the song was included in Destroyer Resurrected, which is the remixed version of Kiss's fourth album, Destroyer. Peter Criss has stated out in an interview with Eddie Trunk, he remarked, saying, "Why touch a masterpiece?" This explained the fact for this as well. And it's just basically for whatever I wanted to come by it for that as well, because I never knew, because that's the real truth for this. Yep. And that's the real main reason I have wanted to come across, because they found themselves a real thing as well. Needless to say, according in an autobiography book, Simmons recounted, "I never seen Criss compose a single song. Peter might have contributed a line or two of the lyrics. After listening to Stan Penridge's original demo, in an interview, Paul Stanley agreed with Gene Simmons' assessment about Penridge was the main writer. If you wrote one hit, you should write an able or two." Because it's just basically on the whole thing to whatever you could come across for this one accordingly. And they finally got themselves a real thing, because this was like, I just wanted to come by for the song like Beth was considered as the B-side to Detroit Rock City as the single. No wonder why they play this on radio stations back in like the 70s as well. Yeah. But overall, it's an alright song in my opinion. I like most songs from Kiss in my opinion, because I know it has the New York Philharmonic Orchestra in that one as well. And however, this song had the acoustic guitar you hear at the end of this song. Maybe Dick Wagner played the acoustic guitar on that, which is nothing new though. It's an alright song, even though I have been listening to this song on my iPod many times throughout the years, back in 2009, which I remembered. I'm going to score for this song a 9 out of 10 for this one. So that's going to be it for my video for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, especially if you're new to the channel. Hit the notifications bell button for more or anything new. Smack the like button if you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out my metal song history videos and rock song history videos. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you like as well. And that's all I have got for today. This is Heavy Metal 95 signing off. Thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Be sure to stay safe and stay healthy. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. Goodbye for now. Stay tuned for more rock song history videos that I've got them planned.